with a lot of the podcast questions, I have one that I like to go through is if, what would you tell your younger self before you started this?
Uh,
Knowing what you know now that you probably wouldn't have had that advice, what would you tell yourself?
Ignore the haters.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you do that anyway. You seem like that
No,
kind of
at the
person.
beginning, I've grown a thick skin. At the beginning, when I came up with cameras for girls, people were telling me things like, "That's crazy. That's a stupid idea. That'll never fly. Where are you going to get the money? You can't do that. You live in Canada. Who cares about Africans? Why would you waste your time?" That kind of stuff. And I had a vision, I had an idea, and there's times still I would be like, "Oh my God, this is so hard. I'm going to quit." And thank God I have my husband who's my sounding board because, I don't make money doing this. Like we're so small. And he'll say to me, "No, you are making an impact. You're going to keep on doing this. And one day the door is going to unlock for you. Until then, go through the window." Right. So my thing is, oh,
That's
the
awesome.
door is closed, go through the window
Go through the
and
window, go
go
whatever.
find a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't let anybody tell you because that's their fear speaking. And they're just trying to, you know, keep you safe. That's their fear trying to keep you safe. They're well meaning, but, you know, not not in a way that you want them to be.
Yeah, I think that, and we're in a time now where you hear a lot of that, like, oh, don't go, don't, it's not worth trying. You
No.
can't do it, this and that.
Yeah.
And a lot of us who have pushed through barriers in our life and been successful and gone through things that, what you've done, and for me, like getting sober for 14 years, we know how bad it can be and what it takes to get to that point. So until someone tells you or I you can't do it, it's almost like, tell me again. Like,
Yeah.
give me more fuel, please.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Tell
Yeah. Let
me
me prove you wrong. But I've
exactly.
also
Prove
gotten
me
to the
wrong.
point that I don't care to prove them wrong. I
Yes, that was my
I
next
care
one.
I care only about the women that I work with. Am I doing right by them? And the rest of the people who don't live what I'm going through or work as hard as I do or have this much passion for this work. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I used to care. I don't care because they're not in the dogfight every day to get that funding or to convince somebody that what I'm doing is
Yeah, and I
worthwhile.
think, and you make a good point because you go to Africa, you
Yep,
physically are
I
with
do.
these folks in that place, and uh, Austin Johnson of Ghana make a difference. Similarly, in going there because he literally had like a strong impression in his
Mm,
soul to go, just leave Utah and go, and the impression it puts on people, and when you come back, you're right because the conversations you're having with people who've never been there
yeah,
physically, their reality is not the same as yours anyway. So why would we ever take advice from that person?
yeah.
Like
And they don't have
that
my lived
makes
experience, right? So they don't understand. I get a lot of why, like you're Canadian. Why you left, like you left Africa. Africa's in my heart. I don't care if I grew up in Canada. It's in my heart. And you
it's in your
cannot, and I
heart.
keep
And
on telling my husband who's just come home, I keep on telling him that one day that's where I'm going to be. So you better be with me because that's where I'm going to
fantastically
be.
supportive husband. That's
Yes, he is
wonderful.
a fantastically. He hasn't said yes, no. He's looking at me like, yeah, right. But he hasn't said yes,
No,
right. But he doesn't really have a choice. So that's one day. Right?
I think it's fantastic, and I'm glad that I kind of urged you to get on this recording with me because you're you are making an impact, and I think it's even larger than we can see right now. That as you go towards the 30,000, even if you only get halfway there, like
Yeah.
the ripple effect and the exponential changes that happen because of that in their lives and the children's lives and whoever sees these pictures